Good morning, people. We have an exciting week ahead with the Flirge Forge week. This is going to be a 1 week full event. We will have live streams every day and we will have builders on different positions doing different things, everything on Flare every single day of the week. My name is Victor Munoz, and I'm a developer advocate or developer relations at Flare, the blockchain for data. And today I am with one of our Flare ambassadors. His name is Anantab, and he's going to build a crowdfunding decentralized application utilizing Flare's FTSO. So we're going to dive deep into this, but before jumping into the topic of today, I just want to make sure we're all on the same page and that you guys make sure to subscribe. We are doing this live stream on YouTube at the moment and also on X on the account of Flare developers. And every single day, like I mentioned before, at 1:30 p.m. UTC, we're going to be doing a live stream showcasing how to build on Flare, utilizing different tools, different data protocols. So today, like I mentioned, we're going to be building a crowdfunding dApp. But tomorrow, we are happy to host a live stream with the friends from Gold Sky. They're going to introduce subgraphs and mirror pipelines on Flare. This is very important if you want to handle data effectively in your decentralized application. And then on Wednesday, it's a little bit of a special day because we're going to be covering the topic of redeeming FXRP to XRP on Flare. And also notice that for Wednesday, we're going to be starting half an hour earlier, so 1 p.m. UTC. And we're going to have Chris Taps with us. He's one of our DevRels, and he's going to show you everything you need to know for handling like F assets on Flare and how the full like kind of flow works, right? F assets is something that everybody has on their minds if you're on the Flare ecosystem these days. So it's going to be quite an exciting day. Now, moving into Thursday, we're going to have another of our ambassadors, Antoine, and he's going to be presenting a tokenized real estate solution on Flare. I know that many of you have asked me in the past or in DMs about this kind of decentralized applications on Flare. So here you are going to be able to see all of the details, right? How to build one and what are the challenges, what are the main use of Flare decentralized data protocols for this and whatnot. And on Friday, it's going to be the last day, but it's going to be a fun one because we're going to have a verifiable random selection and functions on Flare. We're going to have an interesting dice game that you can build on Flare utilizing these dependencies. We are going to be joined by another of our Flare ambassadors. So my recommendation is that you set an alarm every single day at 1:30 p.m. UTC, except on Wednesday, that day you want to set it up half an hour earlier. So that you join in these live streams and you learn how to code different solutions on Flare and also to ask questions, right? You have this opportunity to ask questions live. We're going to try our best to reply to all of the questions that we get on the multiple channels. If not, you can always reach out to me on social media. It's going to be fairly easy to find me. And you can find also our developer community on Discord and ask any sort of questions you might have. Okay, without further ado, how are you doing today, Anantab? And can you tell us a little bit more about what is it that we are going to be building today? What is the motivation, so on and so forth?
All right. Hi, Victor. I'm doing well. And so, hi guys. My name is Anantab, and I'm an ambassador at developer ambassador at Flare Network. So today we'll be exploring the FTSO, which is the Flare Time Series Oracle. It is an oracle which is an enshrined protocol within the Flare network, and it offers price feeds. So, using these price feeds, there are a lot of possibilities to build secure and decentralized oracle based applications. So, today we'll be trying out a crowdfunding dApp using the FTSO. Now, we all know normal crowdfunding, right? Paying in stable dollars or something. But how about we could pay creators in speculative tokens like Flare? So you could basically set your target in dollars, and people could pay you in Flare tokens. And based on the price gains and lows, we can dynamically handle crowdfunding. So
Got it.
that
This is
is what.
super interesting. So I think that maybe let's switch and I stop presenting my screen and maybe you go ahead and present yours.
Sure.
Okay, let me stop sharing here for one moment, and feel free to add your screen. All right.
All right.
We can see this infinite.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Right. Is it visible?
Yes, now it is perfect. So we're
Right.
seeing the documentation of the developer hub, the section
Right.
of the FTSO B2. For the people
Mhm.
in our audience that are just tuning in, please make sure to subscribe and make sure to reshare this. If you're watching this from X, make sure to give it a retweet. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to leave comments and questions so that we know you're there and you know you want to learn something specifically, just let us know. Okay, let's get.
One more thing, Victor. Where can I post any links that for the audience if I have to
Uh, you
post
can.
something?
I think the best way is just share it with me, and I'll
Mhm.
share it on social media. It's okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. I'll begin. So hey guys, today we are going to explore the FTSO. All right. So if you're familiar with Flare Network, which is an L1 blockchain, so Flare offers three unique data protocols, which is the FTSO, the FTC, and F assets. Today we're going to try out how we're going to build with the FTSO, right? So the FTSO is an enshrined oracle. Now, if you're going to build any sort of smart contracts on blockchain, these contracts are isolated from real world data. So what Flare does is it very smartly has put this oracle with the protocol logic. That means it is secured and inherits the security of the network. Right. Now, if you're a new developer on Flare, you just got to visit this dev.flare.network or the Flare Developer Hub. It is a fantastic resource for you to learn everything there is about Flare's protocols. All right, let's get started. Now, to build this crowdfunding application, what you're going to do is you need at least Node and hard hat, and you need some familiarity with Solidity, as well as MetaMask and the Web3 basics, right? Now, how can you use Flare? If you visit the Getting Started page, there's the Open and Remix button, so you can explore how Flare works. I'll just explain it to you briefly, right? All right, so we're creating a contract which consumes the price feeds. Now, FTSO offers you a lot of price feeds, which I can show you right here. You can see the Flare to USD, SGB, BTC, XRP, lots of price feeds. Now, instead of using a third party oracle that could possibly compromise your application because it is obviously third party, right? So instead of building a dApp, you're relying on an external party, and if dApp gets compromised, your application is boom. So that is a Flare's unique offering, right? So suppose you want to consume price feed of Flare and BTC and ETH maybe. What you're going to do is you just need to make an array of price feeds, and this is the Flare USD token. These are the basic functions for fetching the Flare price feed. You don't need to do anything more than this. From the contract registry, you get the address of the FTSO interface. You get the FTSO function as well. You simply initialize the FTSO v2 right here, and you can return the price feed by the ID that you entered here. So I hope you get an understanding of how the FTSO works, right? I'll just show you. This is deployed, right? So these are all view functions. So if I want to get the Flare USD, it returns me the price, the decimals, because we have to adjust for decimals, right? Because In Solidity, without decimals, you can't have precise values. And we have the timestamp as well, so which you can verify later on. Right. You can do batch queries of multiple price feeds or a single price feed as well. You can get the price in way if you want more precision. So that is it for now. Now what I'm gonna do is, this is the starter template, or basically the dApp itself, the crowdfunding dApp. So I don't know if I can share this with you. Uh, Victor, are you there? Can we share this?
What do you want to share?
The GitHub link for if any other developer wants to build right now.
Oh yeah, that was shared already on the YouTube
Okay.
channel
Okay.
and on the Twitter stream, so all good.
Right, right. Okay, okay, cool. All right, guys, let's begin with the. Right, so I'll give you basic structure of the application. We have two contracts, which is the crowdfunding factory and the crowdfunding campaign. So how this works is, you're gonna have a factory contract which is gonna create contracts for you. So I'm just gonna run the application for you right now. I have prepared a front end for you guys to simply interact with the application, right? So what you do is npm run dev. It is a Next.js application, and I'm using the RainbowKit wallet for you, right? So what I'd suggest you all is to create 5 test accounts for testing out this application. How you can do this is simply open MetaMask, go to Add Account, Ethereum account, name it anything, and just Add Account, right? Then there is the Flare faucet. You can find all the details in the README file. This is the faucet right here, and you can fund your account using the faucet, right? Once. All right, I'm going to explain this to you. So the crowdfunding application works by um, uh, managing uh, a managing contract, which is the factory. It keeps track of all the campaigns that have been created right here, and it keeps track of all the contributors or the donations that have come in. So we are emitting events whenever there is a contract created. This is the function to create a contract. Right here, you can these are very simple functions. You can get the count, get campaigns, get the number of campaigns a creator has created in the past. And right, these are all basic functions. Now coming to the main contract, where we are going to use the FTSO to calculate the price of the flare in USD, right? So we got this value, the flare USD price feed ID, from the price feed section over here. One second. This. So you could get any feed ID that you want and just place it over here as a constant value. Oh my bad. Yep. Now here is a list of public contributions. These are events which will be emitted whenever there is a major action done on the contract, like uh, a campaign just received some funds from some donations, or the campaign has closed, or the campaign has been removed because it could not gain the funds required within the deadline, right? Now, as a constructor, we're going to take these values. So when you create a campaign, you're going to put in your address, which, as you are the owner, then the address of the beneficiary, the person who's going to get the funds, it could be yourself, then the funding goal in US dollars, and then the duration of the campaign. Right, now let's see how we can simply use the function to get the flare price from the FTSO. So we're just going to initialize an FTSO interface, right? FTSO v2 contract from the contract registry, get it, return FTSO v2 dot get feed ID flour USD ID. What this function does is it simply returns the price, the decimals, and the timestamp. Now, how are we consuming this? Let's see that. Now, for the contribute function, so what we're going to do is require, we're going to have to check if the campaign is closed. Campaign close, require block timestamp. So we're checking if the timestamp is less than the deadline because that means the campaign is still in progress. If not, we're gonna just print deadline passed. One more condition we should check is require if the amount of flare that you are donating or contributing is greater than 0, right? Now, if all these checks are done, what you're going to simply do is in the contributions array that we had right here, we're adding the number of the contributions for this address that just sent the contribution and added the amount that has been contributed to this particular campaign. Total funds raised for this particular campaign, and we just emit the function that the funding has been received, and we put this check goal reached to check how does this check this. If the campaign is closed, it just returns, and we're going to get the flare price that it has reached. And this is very important that you should keep in mind. Now we're calculating how much price has the campaign raised in dollars. So this was the total funds raised, which we just added in flare, right? And the current price of the flare token, which we got from the FTSO, and we divided by the decimal places because the flare does not, the current price does not account for the decimals. So suppose it is 0.02, but it will return 2 and the decimals along with the accounted for it. So I hope this is, if you guys have any problem understanding anything, just okay, cool. All right. Now, what happens is that if the campaign fails to reach its goal, for example, I raised a campaign for $1,000 and it failed, it could only raise $800, then what happens is that that campaign should be closed and the money should be returned to the investors or the contributors. So, of course, we're going to do the basic checks to check if it was finalized or not, and we're going to check if there is any contribution left, and then we're simply gonna, whoever wants to claim the refund can simply claim the refund from the contract, and that's it. The function for withdraw funds is if it has reached, if the contract has surpassed its goal. So the owner of the contract, the beneficiary, can simply withdraw their funds. Again, the same process. And finalize is when it reaches, the beneficiary has to finalize it so that it closes down, right? So you can simply copy all of this from my GitHub. You do not need to write all of this, obviously, if you're starting out. Now, this is the deployment script. So I have deployed it and tested it straight away. So instead of talking too much, I'll just simply run it right here. CD backend the backend folder, we have the contracts and scripts. So we're going to do npx sorry, adapt run. It's going to be in the README file as well. This line right here to deploy on the Coston network. I'm going to do this now. I missed a part that I need to explain to you. This is the env example file. It contains all of the constants and urls and stuff that you need, but for now you have to keep in mind you need 5 private keys. That means just create 5 accounts. My bad. Just create 5 accounts on MetaMask like I told you, and fund them with Flare, and I'll show you that as well. This is a test. So this is how you can get the private key. This is my throwaway account, so it doesn't matter, right? And these are all the private keys here. I can just show it. It's okay. So this is how you can do it. You paste the env file. Now, if you run this, you're gonna see how our deployment script works. All right. Now, our 5 accounts, using
Anantab,
one account, we deployed the. Mhm.
quick question here.
Yeah,
Sorry for interrupting.
sure,
It's just that
sure, sure.
I'm looking at you don't need to project that. It's okay. You can leave the code. It's fine.
Mhm.
You were showing a bunch of private keys, and of course, I'm wondering where does that come from? Is this something that you took from the starter, or what? Because it's not something
Yeah,
that ideally.
no, it was from the Flare Hard at Starter Kit, but yeah.
All good.
Mhm.
So for those who are not aware, the Flare Starter Kit does has a bunch of private keys that you can use. That's all right. But of
Okay.
course, when you're building, do not share your own private keys in production
Right,
or
right.
testing that are, truly yours, right?
Yeah,
There is a small difference there.
yeah. That I told him that like you should always keep throwaway accounts, like make a new account and fund it and just delete it after testing. So like that's what I'd like to do. It's okay.
Perfect. Perfect.
Mhm.
All good. Thanks.
Okay, okay. So I'll just carry on. Now, to interact with the contract, interact with the deployment script, you're gonna need a deployer address. This is the beneficiary. Mostly, you will be creating your own campaign, so you're going to be your own beneficiary, but you could create for someone else as well. And there's going to be 2 contributors, and let's just try one attack, okay? It's a pretty comprehensive test script, so I'd suggest you just see the output to get an idea of how this works, right? So you just got the crowdfunding factory deployed over here. This is very important because we're going to need this when we integrate into our front end, right? Now, okay, could not fetch fair USD price. Why is this? Is your one negative? Okay, we're using the default price for now. Okay, it doesn't matter. Right. So, all right. We created a sample campaign right here. This are the main variables, state variables, which we saw over here, right? You're going to have an owner, a beneficiary, the goal, deadline, funds raised, funding goal reached or not, and all that, right? So this is over here. Now we are simulating a contribution right here. So suppose this campaign aimed for $1. Now to meet $1 in flare, it is calculating how much flare it needs, some extra buffer for the gas fees and all, and maybe some price increase or something like that. Now with this contributor account, you're going to contribute over here. Let's see if it passed or not. Attempting to contribute. Yes, it was successful. And after contribution of the first one, we're donating with another beneficiary, and funding goal might not be marked as reached after contribution. Okay, right. So funding goal might not be reached after contribution to FT's price shifts. All right. So because we already completed the goal right here, but we're again donating $1 because so it's failing because uh, we had we had marked it as complete, but then the price shifted. So this is a real case scenario which might happen because uh, you might finalize the campaign as completed, but immediately the price might drop, right? So that is this. Now it's still active, yeah. Now we're having another scenario of another campaign right here. It's the same thing. This is for testing, obviously, and attempting contribution to already closed campaign should fail. That is fail, right? So this is a test script. You can obviously change it. It has a lot of tests and a lot of edge cases handled. So you could check that out. Now coming to how you are going to work with this project in a full stack application, like in front end as well. So I'll quickly explain how you can build an FTSO application or a dApp in general on Next.js. So this is a simple Next.js project. Right. Now, what you need, what is the most important part is that when you compile these contracts, I'll show you. npx hard compile. Right. So I've already compiled it. So when you finish writing these contracts, what you need to do is you to compile them. Then you get ABIs generated right here. So ABIs are basically some a sort of interaction script, like it is JSON, and it is used. It is like this. It defines all the functions that are inside the contract, and this is very useful for integrating with front ends, where you can use all of these functions and their interfaces, and like it specifies how to interact with it. All right, so let me just show you. In the front end folder, you're going to have this src folder and the ABI folder, right? So I have just copied these, this ABI and this ABI right here, which is the factory and the campaign ABIs, right? You're going to copy this. You're just going to paste it over here, right? Now, let me spin up the front end real quick. Okay, it's up, right? All right. So connect with this MetaMask here. All right. So this is an older page because it has some extra campaigns that I had added previously. So how to change this is, you remember this factory contract right here, right? So every time you deploy a new factory contract, you can just copy this, and in the src, this is the hooks file, which basically handles all the interactions with the contracts. So right here is the factory address, and this is the previous address of the previous time I deployed this one, right? So I'm just going to paste the new deployment address. All right, I pasted it. I'm going to refresh it. Now we just have those three initial deployment projects, which are the testing project campaigns. Sorry. Now, how you can create a campaign for yourself? Just name it anything. Flare Coach Week. As a beneficiary, just add yourself because that's what normal people do. And funding goal between $1,000. Let's say 1395. Duration is 5 days. Now all of this is happening because of the ABIs that we had and the hooks file that we created. Okay, this is confirmed. I'll just reload this. So you see, we just got a new campaign, Flare Forge Week. and we are having the live FTSO conversion right here of $30.95 to this much flare, and we have the flare price right here as well. Okay, now how the hooks work is that in React components, uh, if you can just go the campaigns page, because this is the campaigns page, right? And in the campaigns page, what we are doing is we are fetching the FTSO price. Where did it go? FTSO. Hmm. Oh, yeah, here it is. So what we're doing is in the React page, we are fetching the FTSO flare feed price, which you can see back in the documentation. There are a lot of guides where you can learn how to do this. So, how to read feeds off chain. Okay, so uh, we did the contract part, right? We did how we can consume the feeds in the contract and deliver actions on those price feeds. But what if you had to do this on chain? Because you can't be paying gas fees, and there is fees for fetching the price feeds as well. So if you just needed to do this off chain for some sort of front end thing, or you just didn't need the smart contracts for it, so this is the tutorial. Pretty simple for it. You just need the FTSO V2 deployed address. You need an RPC URL, which is the constant to where the this is deployed, uh, and these are the feed IDs, and you're gonna need this function interface to ABI, right? And you're gonna need Web3.js for this, and it is simple. You just call this one, and you format the result like this, and you print this, right? So that's exactly what we are doing here. We are just modifying it a bit more. So fetch price, and we're formatting the price. So you can see I have made a util file as well, which is very helpful if you are building dApps, because there is a lot of formatting issues because of the decimals and the forgetting precision values of the price feeds, right? So this is all about that. So I
So
guess
question
I've
here
covered all of
about
those.
the Anantab, I
Mhm.
have a question about the formatting. You don't need to
Yeah.
do that every time I ask you something because people can see multiple
Oh,
tabs.
my bad.
It's okay. It's okay.
I'm pretty new to this stuff. Yeah.
It's
So,
okay. My question is about the formatting issues. What is your
yeah.
recommendation? How to go about it? Tips
Mhm.
maybe that you can share with us.
Right. So for formatting is that because for every different price feed, say for Flare, it is about 7 decimal places that you have to shift, and for BTC it might be some different number, and for XRP might be different number. So to handle that, you need some common functions which I've declared right here. So I'll just show this to you. Right. So in the formatting, what we are doing is simple function that takes in the decimals and the price as parameters, and just does a scaling, which is also given in the FTSO documentation. So here is the scaling part. Yeah. One second. Okay, I guess it's not there, the scaling thing. So I guess you get the point. Like you just need the decimal value and the price feed, and you can simply do simple maths, basic maths, like
Yeah,
divided
so,
by. Mhm.
essentially you define your own functions based on what the asset is.
Right. No, not. It's a general function, so you don't need to make a function for every different price feed. It's a general function which can take it any price and the corresponding decimal value, and just
Perfect, super
give
clear.
return the scale price, right? Um, all right. So I guess we are done with the explanation of the code. So if there are any questions for now, I'd be happy to take them up.
I'm checking here. I don't see any questions for now. But I do want to emphasize like the experience from the developer point of view. Can you again? Can you please switch that tab and put the tab with the code? It's
Yeah.
okay.
Uh-huh.
I just want to make sure we're all on the same page here.
Right.
So first of all, you mentioned that you have two main contracts. Is that correct?
Mhm.
One from
Yes.
the crowdfunding itself, and the other one is for like the campaigns, or what?
Right. One is a factory contract, which I will own because I'm the owner of this application. So only I can manage all the contracts. And then the factory contract can create multiple campaigns. So if you want to create a campaign, you go to the factory, you call a function to create a new campaign, and each campaign is a new contract. So I guess that's about it.
Okay, understood, understood. And then, in terms of the use of the documentation, because for me it's very hard to evaluate. I work at Flare. I'm all day, checking
Mhm.
things. So obviously, I utilize the documentation on a daily basis, but my perspective is very different from what a new developer or an external developer would look, would be able to capture. Let's say. So when you build this application, everything that you needed was explained super clearly on the documentation, or there is something that you needed to kind of figure it out on your own, or you needed to ask questions to someone else. How was your experience from the point of view of relying only on the documentation?
I think the Flair team has done an excellent job because the documentation is very crisp, it is to the point, and you can get literally everything you need. There are all the interfaces defined, all the code examples. So I guess for a new developer, it's really easy to onboard onto Flair. That was my experience.
Awesome. That's great to hear. Thanks for
Mhm.
the nice feedback.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to putting this into production, right? Because obviously here we're showing, a test application and whatnot. But what about if someone is planning on forking this and going live and do something else with it? What are your recommendations? Maybe in terms of security.
Yeah,
Uh,
that is a really cool question because I was myself thinking to put it into production because right now it is very simple. You can just like I did the deploy with Coston, you can just deploy with a Flare mainnet. But of course, I am not an auditor, so there could be problems. So you should always secure the contracts, right? You should not put anything to mainnet like that. So I would say if anyone wants to fork this, do a comprehensive read it yourself, read the contract yourself, and measure it yourself, and then only push to mainnet. That would be my recommendation.
Got it. And in terms of like testing or security tips, do you have anything you would like to share?
I think I've done a very comprehensive testing of this, but yeah, I guess tests are always appreciated, you know. So if you want to, I guess the FTSO price formula that is very secure. There is no problem with that. You can never fail with the prices, but of course, all the logic that you develop on your own, you got to secure it. So that's my tip.
Got it. All good. And so, what would be like next steps for this kind of application in terms of maybe building an additional feature or improving the current functionality? What are some things that come to your mind?
I believe that this is pretty much almost to the point of pushing to mainnet because I believe it's a very fun application because it's really cool for the Flare community to raise funds for each other, and it's a very gamified process because you're not paying in US dollars, right? You're paying in Flare tokens, so you're playing on speculation, and you're like hoping this creator gets even more price if the Flare token goes up, and that sort of stuff. So I guess it's a really good project to be pushed to mainnet, and I think the community would love it. So yeah,
Okay, that's cool. And in terms of like the GitHub that you have provided, is that
Mhm.
like ready? Like I just
It's
fork
ready.
it,
It's yeah, simple. It's
follow
as
the
simple as
steps,
that. Yeah,
as simple as that.
as simple as that.
All right, sounds great. Yeah, then I would invite everyone that is watching this right now, go to the repository and let me see if I can show it right here. and give it a try. If you're just starting to explore, if you're like a sort of vibe coder on Flare, I think this is a good starting point because FTSO is one of our powerful data protocols, but is relatively, I would say, simple to use compared to maybe the FDC, the Flare Data Connector. That's a little bit more advanced, so I wanted to get started with the FTSO. I think it's a good idea, and having all the steps and having this material here, I think is everything that you can ask for, right? You have the documentation, you have a workshop live in which they are showing how to build this, and how to test it and whatnot, and then you have the public repo. Super useful material. So once again, I would invite everyone that is watching this and want to get started building on Flare to take a look at this. And I don't know, Anantab, do you have any additional recommendations here?
Uh, I guess this was a pretty cool project to build because the FTSO, there are a lot of price feeds over there. So I'd really recommend any new developers watching this to play around with FTSO. Like there are so many possibilities in DeFi, and you can build so many primitives. Like I can think of so much stuff, predictions, prediction markets and stuff. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And mhm.
Awesome. Okay, so then one final question for you. It's been a really exciting workshop for today to kickstart the Flare Forge week, but I want to know, like from your point of view, if I'm just getting started to building on Flare and utilizing the FTSO, what would be your recommendation now that you shared this? Because maybe I should go to the documentation and start with like the sort of hello world piece of the FTSO and they then dive into this, or maybe I have to follow another intermediary step before moving into this. What are your thoughts here?
I'd say definitely start off with the documentation. It will not take you a lot of time to understand it because it's pretty simple. It's pretty simplified by the team, right? So play around with the FTSO, understand how it works, understand all the functions and interfaces, and with that you can just, if you have some intermediate experience with Solidity, and you just put some cool AI tools like cool models like Claude and all. So you can definitely develop smart contracts yourself. Mhm.
Absolutely. Even if you're getting started, you can do a lot of testing things, at least to learn. And I just want to give here a shout out to our friend Ayman. Thank you so much. He says he wish developers discover this opportunity. I do think the same. And I see other people saying great way to get involved with for all type of developers. Certainly, if you're a Web2 developer just getting started into Web3, I think this kind of material and Flare is like a very unique infrastructure and chain to get started with, mostly because we have all of these data protocols that allows you to build applications that are data rich, like this crowdfunding application. So thank you so much, Ananta, for joining us today. Thank you to the people in our audience. Please make sure to watch this again and share it with others. Give it a like, give it a retweet. That helps us a lot to put the word out about the things that are being built on Flare. And Anantab, again, thank you, and I hope that you have a nice rest of your day. And if you have anything, like if people have questions, what is the best way to reach out to you?
Reach me out on X, reach me out on Telegram, of course. I'm available every time. And I'd really like you all to build on Flare, play on it, because there's so much cool stuff. And FTSO is just the beginning. With FDC, there are so many possibilities. So it's a really good time to jump onto Flare and just develop stuff.
Absolutely. It's a wonderful time to start building on Flare. And tomorrow we will have a nice live stream with our friends from Gold Sky. We're going to be exploring more about the world of subgraphs and mirror pipelines, so you can, really do some crazy things with your decentralized application. You utilize tools that allow you to organize your data and be more effective with how you handle that part in your decentralized application. So make sure to tune tomorrow at the same time, 1:30 p.m. UTC. We're going to be doing live stream every single day of the week, and it's going to be fun. All right, guys.